Hello, everyone. Welcome to the session.
Hello.
Slaughter Victoria Barres.
No, I can't call Banu.
Actually, Victoria Fulton. I think we have something like 5 participants here. ما بيت 5 participant معناها أو بمشش. We can start. I believe that everybody can speak in English. متعنقون بإنجليزي قصب كان ليرة.
Hello everyone.
Hello, Ms. Banas. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. And you?
I'm good, thank you so much. So, can everybody speak in English? Like Mr. Bahros, can you speak in English?
Yeah. Hello, mister. How's it going?
I'm doing good, thank you so much. So we can start to not waste more time. Because this time we have a new participants here, so would you mind to just briefly introduce yourself? اگر بتوانن لێرەیە خۆتان بناسێنن بە شێوازێکی خێرا بۆی بچینە ناو باسەکەەوە چونکە تەنها 40 دقەمانێ. من ناو مەرینە هەڵگری بڕوانامەی دکتۆرام و ئەمڕۆ ڕۆژ هەفتانە من ئەم زوومە ڕادەگەێنم لەسەر کتێبی گەرجە کە پەیجی فەیسبوک و پەیجی ئەکاونتی ئینستاگرام کتێبی هەفتەیدا هەموو هەفتەیە کتێبێک دانێن بۆ هەفتەی داهاتووتر. بفرمایید.
Can you choose who's going to be first one?
You can, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. My name is Banas. I'm graduated in, I'm having master's degree in TESOL and I'm a court interpreter and I'm living in United Kingdom. And nice to meet you all.
Same here. Ms. Banas, welcome to that session again. Yes.
Thanks.
Hello everyone, I am Kawa Mirza, and I am currently a PhD student in Germany. Nice to meet you all.
Hello, such a great pleasure, Dr. Kawa, to be here with us this time.
Thank you so much.
Mr. Bahros, would you mind to introduce yourself? Mr. Bahros? I think he is not. I think he. Well, I didn't mute anyone. I unmuted all. But yeah, for sure, you can go. And we have Lavin with us, right? Is it a problem with me, or like, can you hear my voice clearly?
Yeah, I can hear you. I had some problem in the first place, but now it's solved. I don't know about the others. I don't know.
Cool. So today's topic will be about God Sees the Truth, But Wait by Leo Tolstoy. He's a Russian writer. Actually, he was, because he lived in the previous century. And by the way, Leo Tolstoy, he was atheist. He doesn't believe in any God, he doesn't believe in any religion. But why did I choose God Sees the Truth But Waits? It's pretty short. It's shorter than a short story, which is like something like 10 to 12 pages, which you can finish it within, let's say, 1-2 hours. But before we move into details, before I ask questions, what did you learn from this very, very short story? Yeah, you can go. Floor is yours.
Shall I start?
Yeah, for sure.
I think there were lots of hidden messages in the short story. It was short story, but it has a big a big message behind the texts. So I think they were covering some aspects like religious and politic and economic as well. So mostly it was when we are in easement and when we are having happiness and pleasure in our life, we forgot God and we don't submit to God. But when we are in a trouble or when we are facing a trial, we are submitting to God, which is really is everybody is doing the same. Which is, if you don't do that, it's a weird situation if you don't think about like that. So it's really pretty normal way of thinking, especially when you are in a jail for if you be innocent and they put you in behind the bars for doing nothing. And there are some political aspects like describing injustice in that society at that time, when he wanted to describe the event clearly and purely, but no one listened to him because the dagger was in his suitcase. So everybody said, yeah, you are the criminal, you are the one who committed the crime, without thinking about the consequence of this. Or they didn't listen to him perfectly when he sent petitions to the emperor didn't reply anything. Even he didn't have sympathy to write an answer to say you are guilty because of this or that. So there is political things there, and economic as well, because I realized that at that time people were living really at the breadline. They didn't have something like a good income to live on, so everybody was like a predator to eat the other one, to have some income for daily life. So it was covering these aspects, which is it was reflecting their society more than the imagination and bringing some entertainment to the story. Because I didn't see any entertainment in the story. It was really horrific situation for a person to be in prison for 26 years without committing any crime and without having a fair trial. It wasn't a fair trial. Even he didn't talk about the process of the trial and the sentencing.
Actually, this is one of the stories of Leo Tolstoy that made him super famous. Though it's very short, but within this story, we have more than 25 to 32 themes and then plots and analysis. But let's
Yeah.
hear from the other members and we will discuss more. Yeah, Dr. Kawa, would you mind to share with us something about that story, please?
Yeah, for me, this is a very nice story and written, as you said, by Leo Tolstoy. And firstly, when I started to read, actually, um, so got me involved with the story, and I was eagerly trying to know what will happen by the characters and Axino, better to say, inside as a hero inside the story. And due to that, I was translated into Kurdish in 2010 before getting my MA degree.
Wow, that's cool.
And yeah, and I'm sorry I couldn't post it out due to its copyright, as it is sponsored by a publishing house in Slemani and published twice actually. Regarding the story that Guy said, they are full of stories and big lessons. You can pick them up actually to be enlightened in your life. Um, for example, we can divide it into three folds. And firstly, social banking, and secondly, fate, and thirdly, changing. And from the beginning, as you have all read that story, Asinov as an hero um, is a young man and merchant, and he can afford to spend a lot of money, and whatever he wants just can do it easily. But unfortunately, something unexpected happened in his life, and change all the realities upside down. And this is will let the others and all the people know that you don't be arrogant, and especially you have to consult your partners when his wife said that I've dreamt about you and it's better not to start your journey today. So that would be something interesting. And if you consult with your partners and respect, we as Muslims do believe in faith, but the reasons of taking the actions in your life is more important than the rest, for example. So sometimes how to take an action in a logical way, that would be important for you.
Cool. Thank you so much, Dr. Khan. We have Lavin and we have a new member, Shwan. So Lavin, do you like to give a go? Lavin, are you with us? Maybe not. What about Shwan Kader? Well, maybe they are just listeners. Anyway, we will continue. I have plenty of questions that I prepared for you guys, but I will ask you one of them, like one by one. What is the use of family? Why Leo Tolstoy talked about a dream that he never believed in dream, the guy, and later on the dreams became real and he was imprisoned or behind bars for 26 years. What is the use of dream here in this part of the story? Why Leo Tolstoy talked about dream? Why specifically dream?
I think he was unconsciously believing in that dreams. That's why it's reflecting in his stories. He unconsciously believed that dreams is part of reality. I think so, because when you're sometimes you know that something is true, but you don't admit it.
Sorry, I think. Can you hear me, Dr. Kao?
Sorry?
Can you hear me?
Yes?
Cool, but I think Miss Panaz is not here. I don't know why.
I think there is a technical problem. I don't know. Yeah.
I don't think it's the connection of me because I have a full connection here.
No,
Anyway,
that's not by you.
yeah,
That's not by you.
yeah, it's not by me. So, Mr. Bahroz or Miss Lavin, do you want to add something? Please, if you want to say something, just say it out because this is a kind of group discussion. Yeah.
I know, but I've just joined, so I don't know what this is about.
The topic is about, Ms. Lavin, is about why Leo Tolstoy talked about dream inside the story. What is the use of dream? Though he...
Hope? I think it would give hope.
Who? Sorry?
It's for having hope, basically, so that you can survive.
Yeah, but the dream drove him crazy. The dream drove...
For having hope.
The dream put that the materials behind bars for 26 years. So how could the dreams be realistic according to this story?
Wait, whose dream? I'm kind of confused.
The Dimitriov, who is the main protagonist in the story. His wife told him that you don't have to go on this travel because I dreamt.
Oh, you mean the wife's dream? Oh, well,
yeah.
Well, you know, dreams can be used as they're like secret messages. I believe in that.
And why did he use it inside the story, though he was atheist?
Probably because, probably he believed in it.
Is it just based on probability or assumption?
I guess so.
Okay, cool. Okay,
Yeah,
well,
I think he just believed in dreams. That's why he used it, and probably he was telling the readers to believe in signals, signs, or dreams.
Yeah.
Probably.
maybe so, because the guy didn't listen to that dream and he
Yeah, look
spent,
what happened to him.
yeah,
The rest of his life behind the bars.
yeah, for the rest of 26 years, 20, 25, 26 years. Okay,
Mhm.
Dr. Kao, what is your suggestions for using dream as you translated this into Kurdish?
Yeah, well, so actually that's something cannot be, let's say, uncover, okay, for surely 100%, okay, what's the intention of the author behind using this. But I think that as the Aksionov as a hero, okay, has a lot of things with money and can do, for example, whatever he wants to do in his life. But at the same time, this is a message by his close friend, um, which is his partner, and to say that be careful in your reactions, in your journey, for example, in your life, because you have to expect everything around you, and this is not, life is not a field, okay, just to play on alone. Okay, there are other obstacles and you have to take care of them, and expect everything when you go on, for example. Just, yeah, this is, I think that, but I'm not sure whether I am right or not, because this is actually belongs to the intention of the writer here.
Well, there is no wrong or right answer. We are just discussing based on our perspectives and angles.
Sure.
Dear Banaz, you wanted to say something, but I'm sorry, your network was not.
Yeah, yeah, I was disconnected.
It's okay. We have another question, which is, I think you missed it. It's about dream. Like,
Yeah, I know.
so, do you want to talk about it?
I think, yeah, I think the writer or the author, he did believe in dream. I think in some way, unconsciously, but maybe he didn't admit it verbally, but in some kind of way. Because when we don't believe in something, but in our environment, they say it again and again. It becomes like a mindset in our head. So we may sometimes we may believe that is true. To be honest, is some kind of believing in dream. At the same time, he's denying that dream is true. I think.
Okay. So I have another question, which is a little bit funny, but if you would be, any of you would be in the material's place, in that protagonist's place,
Yeah,
will you forgive?
I wouldn't. No, no, I wouldn't forgive that person who committed crime against me to give me that big felony and bring me to that criminal situation, which is affecting my life and my family's life. Actually, I can't forgive. Sorry, but it's something I thought is really unbelievable, to be honest. Because if someone did that crime against you, you can't say, oh, I'm gonna forgive you then, just for God's sake. No,
Why not?
you because it hurts you. It hurts you. So you may have some revenge feelings against him. I do believe that. If you are a person, a normal person, you have some reaction, some kicking, or at least some doing some
So,
swearing. You know.
according to you, a normal person should ask for a revenge.
Yeah, and swearing and punching and kicking and some fights. That's what normal people do. That's normal people do, to be honest. It's
Well,
36 years, man. Come on, it's not easy.
it's not easy, but the story is talking
And
about
plus,
forgiveness.
I know it's talking about forgive, but it's not true. It's not true. You can. I'm a generous people. I'm a generous person who is forgiving people easily. But in that situation, I can't because it's too much to get it. Too much, to be honest. It's like 26 years, like whole your life is in a prison, and without having anything in life, without living your family, living your life, living your dreams, living everything. And the person who has done that your life, who ruined your life, or saying, oh, that's okay, I'm gonna forgive you. No, it's not true. I think it's not true.
Um,
Normal people will revenge in some kind of ways.
we have a movie. I don't know whether you have seen it or not. The Green Mile, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, The Green Mile by Tom Hanks, 1999. It's not exactly, but it's
Gonna
based
fight
on
it
a
out.
real story, and it's really talking about the same issue, which is the guy was imprisoned for no reason, just because he was black, and I don't know whatsoever. But after that, they said that you can go, you are free to go, because we put you in prison for no reason. We will come back to this. Dr. Cowell, what do you think about forgiveness? If you will be in his place, will you forgive?
Yeah, well, yeah, this is a very important point and message that Aksinov gave to his enemy. And because in this life, you can take revenge upon on somebody without violence, and that's possible, as Mahatma Gandhi did, for example, defeated his enemies, all the British military, and get them out from India without hurting them, without, um, for example, and just without kicking, without any violence, and that would be possible. And at the same time, that message by Aksinov could change his enemy, for example, from being bad into a good person. That's a very good point. And Aksinov could control himself, as he is a pent-up person, and just thinking about taking pace, okay, logically in his life, because this is not the matter how to fast to pace in your life, but it's the matter of taking your pace in your life logically. And this is very important. For example, in a soccer game, we see just how the defenders, even the goalkeeper with the midfield players, all go forward to score a goal, but at the same time they may fail the game totally. And that's why what will happen, for example, if Aksinov wanted to try to use violence upon his to take revenge upon his enemy, and might be Aksinov could be killed at that time. For example, just this is just a matter of fact, and that's why just Aksinov was not sure that he could, for example, survive or not, and he could take revenge upon his enemy or not, and that's why just I think that he could actually just did a very good lesson, okay, with his enemy, and as a result of that, just he could change his enemy, just as we studied in literature, climax and anticlimax. For example, when a traitor betrays with somebody, okay, cannot keep going For example, where do you keep going? Climbing up to the summit of something, and there should be a point to drop down suddenly, and that's what happened with the Axinov's enemy, and
Okay, thank you.
so in a point just and regretted about everything and change, and
Thank you.
so that's the thing.
Cool. Let's give a chance to dear Lavine to see whether she agrees or she stands against, whether she will forgive or not.
Actually, I don't think after spending 26 years in jail, I would forgive him or not. I don't think there will be any point. Like, there's no point after wasting my whole life there, and there will be no point.
So you will forgive?
Even if I forgive him, what would, like, so what? I wouldn't feel better. I don't think
You
I will
don't
do
forgive?
anything. Actually, even if I don't forgive him, I don't think I will feel any better. If I forgive him or not, I will still feel the same because my whole life was wasted there. And revenge, for getting revenge, what would I do? Killing him and get in jail again? Then I'll be a real murderer back then. So, nothing is, it's over. But just everything is over. We have to accept the fact that life is not fair. Anything can go wrong anytime, any moment. And I don't think I'll forgive him. I'll forgive him and I'll be mad at him at the same time. I don't know. It's complicated. Because spending your whole life behind the bars, away from everyone, losing your family, and everyone seeing you as a murderer, like you committed crime, then there would be no point anymore.
Okay, after I read this very short story, I came to a conclusion that the best life plan is unplanned things. Really, because
exactly.
Exactly, because if you go back to the very first page, you will see that Askimov is asking, actually not asking, but giving his wife a tendency that I will be rich, I will go on this travel, I will bring back presents for you.
Exactly.
Planned everything, even he planned presents, going to be rich, and so that's why nothing went on the plan. There is one issue which took part of my intention. I read a lot about Leo Tolstoy. Like, he's a kind of a genius. Actually, Virginia Woolf told him he is the father of genetic literature. Virginia Woolf she was British, but she was incredible. She described Leo Tolstoy as the father gene of literature. Not only the father, but it's the father gene, like he's the pioneer. My point is that in most of the Leo Tolstoy's stories talking about like war and peace, like crime and punishment, like most of these things, but he never believed in God. Why in this part, specifically in this short story, talks about devotion, religious devotion, and why Tolstoy described God as capital G rather than the small g, which means he's referring to one God.
Probably because
This is my question for everybody.
only God sees the truth.
Yeah, but he was atheist. He never believed in him, in God, in religion, in nothing. Like if you read Crime and Punishment, he's standing against God. If you read another work by War and Peace, he's standing against God. He's standing against all the religion. He said that religion brought all this fight to us. But why in this very short story, he's talking about devotion? Why devotion, specifically faith and devotion? The question is for everybody.
I think he's some kind of blaming on God. Everything is happening is blaming on God. I think it's in that way. I didn't see that he is a kind of religious author. I didn't see at all. He
No,
wasn't believing it. Yeah, but this in this story, which he's talking about submission to God and worshiping in trouble time, but in a real sense, you sense that he's blaming on God, that everything is happening which is wrong in this earth is because of God. God wills to everything happen like this way. It's just like blaming. It's not like worshiping and loving God. I think it's some kind of this. I don't think he's a religious person to give a space to God to do everything. He's not like kind of like that author. He's kind of blaming on God that everything bad happening on this earth is because of his plan, not because of humanist plan. Do you think I'm in a right opinion with them? Because I thought that he's not a religious person to be
no,
in the first place. So why he's talking about God here?
I don't
I
know.
was really surprised. The only thing I was thinking that he was blaming on God. Everything bad is happening on earth, like war and murder or wrongly accused person, which is done nothing. Is only because God wills that. God is punishing a person because he didn't care about anything and he was living a lavish life. So God is punishing him.
Actually, in this story, he's praising God.
Yeah, he's praising God,
He's
but
praising, but I don't know
I
what.
don't think the praising is in a good way.
No,
I
no,
don't think.
praising in a good way. This is why I chose this very short story
I
because
was surprised and I read that
yeah,
text 3 or 4 times. I said, why he's saying that? And he's not
I know.
kind of a person.
It's so cool because when I was in China, I met a Russian guy. He was a philosopher. He was a professor in literature, and he was a philosopher. And the very we were very attached to each other by the Leo Tolstoy's short stories. One of the points that he mentioned, he said that I understood all the works of Tolstoy except God sees the truth but not waits. But waits.
Yeah. It's contradicting himself.
It's quite contradictory word. Yes, Dr. Kao.
Yes, I think that, yeah, so from the middle of the story till the end, the author wants to support religion, and it's been attached to the religion, and wants to have and to tell the readership that there is only the prestigious persons, those with the religion too, and he says clearly, the author, not the about Daxino, he says clearly in the short story, this life can be ended one day, okay? And the glorious for those who are forgiveness, okay? And be with the God, and forgiveness is something valuable in your life if you can achieve it, and said that this is will be ended one day, and no need to, for example, to hurt the others, and this is the clear message by the author. And however, the first part till the final part, there is another comparison and talking about time and money as well. For
Yeah.
example, at the end said that, for example, there is a common quote about time, said that time is money, but the opposite of this is not true. I mean, money is not time, because at that time, finally, how who can compensate Aksinov by spending 26 years from his age? That's gone,
Yeah.
okay, in jail, in prison. So money and nothing can help at that time. So time is valuable, is more valuable than money. And but that's that apart. Yeah, I do believe that said that forgiveness and glorious for God and prestigious for those all who can forgive the others, and this life will be ended one day, and all of them can be belong to creators of God and go back to God.
Thank you so much. We have dear Lavin here. So the last few minutes, if you wanted to talk about.
Probably the writer, like that the man you mentioned. In those kind of situations, the only one you can depend on is God, like your last hope. The man's last hope was God. Like he kept praying every day because he said that he's the only witness. So probably it's for other people to listen to tell them that there is someone to depend on, maybe, just to make yourself feel better, depending on God.
Well, yeah. We don't have a lot to go. So, dear Ravi, did you finish?
Yes,
Cool.
I think that's the whole point.
There is something in this story which is talking about it. It's like we have comparisons between, like, for example, one of those comparisons is institutional justice versus divine judgment. Another one is faith versus devotion. Another one is family versus forgiveness. So in these three kind of opposite themes, Tolstoy talked about the reality of human being. Why he mentioned God, I read a kind of encyclopedia, the Russian encyclopedia translated into English, talking about the Tolstoy's life. He says that we have a problem. We always remember God when we face troubles. Though we don't believe in him, but we go back to him when we have no other solution. Like, I am an atheist, and in God Sees the Truth, I had no way but to believe in God. That's the case. That's the point why I talked about God in that specific perspective. Thank you so much for today. I have a book for next week. I will post it on my Facebook. I believe we have it in more than 260 languages around the world, and they sold more than 100 million copies, which is Le Petit Prince, The Little Prince. I will post the Kurdish version onto my Facebook account and on my Facebook page.
Okay.
I think we have it also in English, but I couldn't find it. I believe you all can read English, can read Kurdish, and then translate it into English from your ideas. So the book for next week will be that book, and actually that's quite impressive. Let's see whether we like it or not.
This activity free of charge.
Which one? This one?
Yeah. Shall we pay any money?
It's completely free of charge.
Yeah, joining for free. Yeah.
Yeah, I do
Yes.
this
Thank you
completely
very much for
voluntarily.
hosting this, Dr. Areen. This is
Pleasure
very
and
kind.
honor is all mine, with you being here with me, helping me, sharing your ideas with
Thank
me.
you.
But I believe
Yeah.
that next week I will make it to 11 p.m. to make it more available for everyone. Let's see that.
Yeah, that would be
11 p.m. in Kurdistan, you mean?
Well, we have less than 1 minute, so please give your last minutes.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Same here. Do appreciate really your existence.
Thank you. Thank you very much. This can be defined as a free service in terms of social distancing in this crisis. Thank you very much.
That's very kind of you, Doctor. Thank you so much.
all right.
Wish
Good
you
night,
to see
everyone.
you. Yeah, same here. Good night. Wish you to see you in a very soon future. Bye-bye.
All right.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.